and my background is from multimedia, so I'm in the graphic design and communications as a background, and I have a master's degree in information society and also postgraduate in data analysis and data visualization. So I'm also an ODI, Open Knowledge, Open Data Institute UK Open Data Trainer, and I'm also a writer of the book Viewing Information from Data to Knowledge. Mainly this book is in Spanish, but this is the basics of the data visualization of infographics and the raw material that it's open data. You can have more information in my website. You will see that in Spanish, but there is a flag and you can change into English, and then you can take more information about my background and what I do. So what we'll do this afternoon is we will go to 4 main things: is principles about infographics and data visualization, tips for an effective data storytelling. I will explain also some tools. There are a lot of tools, but I will give you some of the basics, and we will do an exercise. I will show you an exercise I've prepared about Macedonian data I have found in World Bank and in Wikipedia in that case. Okay, if I ask you some questions, you can answer in the chat. What is an infographic for you? What is the word that comes into your mind and when you hear infographics? You can write down just very fast, like a hashtag.
Well, Ignasi, as I see, everyone is voting right now on the question, do you have any knowledge how to create an infographic?
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
The poll is in process, so 73% until now voted. So I will leave them some more seconds.
Okay.
While they're voting, I think that we have very interesting results at the end because most of attendees already know what is an infographic. That is very interesting.
Okay. Okay, you will see that I have made you 4 questions. What is an infographic? What is a data visualization? Have you created some of them? What if there is something new? I see. Okay, 35% of you can know about what's an infographic, and 50% think they know how to create. Okay, so we will see that infographic and data visualization is mostly the same, but there are very few differences, and we will find what is the difference within the presentation. And to create one of them, we will see that there are plenty of tools to create data visualizations, and this is very, very useful. But the last question, if you think there is something new, most of the people, when they talk about infographics, they think that it's brand new because the internet and we have tools and so on. But we will see that infographics are really not new. The beginning of infographics, we will see it will be at the end of the 18th century. So there is as old as the human being needs to explain information through graphics, through data, and through process. Okay, so we will go ahead, and the first part I will introduce you the principles about infographic and data visualization. The first thing is we have to know is we are visual. I mean, our brain has designed for visual thinking and visualization. That means that we process the visual information 60,000 times faster than textual. So the eyes are very fast, and 40% of our brain is dedicated, not neural connections in the brain are dedicated to the eyes area. So if I ask you, for example, here you have the demographics of New York. I pick up this information from the Wikipedia. This is the ethnics, different ethnics in New York. If I ask you in 20 seconds, what is the biggest population, and what is the second biggest population, and what is the third biggest population, you have to read. There is Israel, there is Asia, there is Chinese, Japanese, percentage. I have 03, 08. So it's no easy to do this. It's nothing to do with, it's a lot of job to do, and our eyes are tired if we do this. But if I show you this, it will be much faster. You will see that it's very fast, it's very concrete, and I know in seconds, in 1, 2, 3 seconds, that Chinese has the largest populations ethnicity in New York, 700,000. So we are visual, we are comparing the information, and we have the insight very fast. Why is relevant data visualization and infographics? Data visualization and infographics is relevant because if you are a journalist or if you're an NGO and you have to present information, you will see that with an infographic, there is 62% of increase that without an infographic. If you write down a standard article, it's much boring for the people. We are not reading, we are scanning information through internet or through a paper. And we need visuals because we have seen very clearly in the last screenshots that with a bar chart is very, very fast. So in that case,
Ignasi, sorry to interrupt you. Do you want to know if any of attendees, how many of attendees work with data?
Yeah, for example, it will be nice.
So let's see how many of you already use data in your work. So Ignasi would have some kind of information from how much do you use and how do you use the data. So the voting is in process, and almost all are already using data in their everyday job. It's very interesting because data is already part of our everyday work, and it is very interesting because some of them maybe know how to do infographics, but sometimes it's difficult to access the data. So I will close the voting because already 90% of attendees have voted, yes, and I would like to share the results with you. So yes, 90% know and work with data, and only 10% do not work with data.
Good, thank you. So it's clear that the data is the raw material. We'll see that data is a key point. But what is relevant? Because interactive charts are increase the reader engagement over 60%. If we have an internet, a website without a chart or without an infographic, and with an infographic, and plus this infographic makes us to click on a chart, and we see extra information, we spend more time. And when we spend more time with this information, it's much possible that we really understand what is behind this information. So you see that interaction is key, but also data visualization and infographics are good for press release, for industry reports, for explain and instructions. So you will see that we see our graphs and charts all over these three cases. Moreover, we have another way of explaining what is data visualization and infographic. First of all, you have to have a story or an idea. Second, you have to have the data. Data is the raw material. And then the third part is design. So you have to combine these three, let me say, hats to do a good data visualization or a good infographic. You have to be a journalist to do, or a journalist mindset. I mean, to do the right questions, to have good ideas, and to be curious. You have to be an analyst to have the data and select the right chart, and you have to have some skills of design, what color to choose, if it's bigger, if I insert an icon, where I put it, and so on. So you will see that we are mixing these three main key points. Another way to tell that it's data visualization, it could be the representation and the presentation of data to facilitate understanding. So it's 4 things: representation and presentation, data as a raw material, understanding. We will see step by step. Representation. Representation means that we have to choose the right chart to communicate what we want. So that means I don't have to choose because I think that the pie chart is the best or the bar chart is the best. I have to choose because I know that this chart makes it easy to understand. Remember, our key point is to be understood. The second thing is presentation. Presentation means I have to take care of the shapes, I have to take care of the colors, I have to take care of the figures. So I have to make it nicer, and I have to make it organized in some way it's presented. The third point is the data. As you know, 90% of you work with data. Data is a raw material, but data has to be selected, has to be clean, has to be analyzed. So this is the previous process we have to do before inserting a data visualization. The drawing, the visualization is the last point. And the last thing is understanding. And understanding is, you have to keep in mind what will be the reader's mindset when he saws the data visualization. He will think, what does it shows? What does it mean, what they show? And what does it mean to me? Because if you want to affect the reader has to take a decision with this information and to be affected. For example, a combination of these will be that what we have done at the very beginning. There is a combination of perceiving the information and interpreting the information. So in that case, perceiving will be the data visualization. And in a data visualization, I can make a data visualization that says that ice cream has 165 grams of sugar. But the interpretation, this is the part, interpreting and comprehending, this is the part that the subject is doing by themselves, not by us. It's he has to think, what does it mean? It doesn't mean that if we put it very clear in the chart and in data visualization, in the infographic, we can say that over 50 grams daily sugar is unhealthy. So that comprehending the decision that the subject, the person, that the reader takes to themselves is, I have to stop eating so much ice cream because they have learned something about this information, and the person acts. This is the key point. You touch the person with information to take a decision, to understand something, and to really give them a good input. So I show you an infographic. This is a typical infographic we can see in the internet. You will see that infographic that it has different things, but the first thing usually it has is a title. Usually the title is in horizontal in the top. So in that case, I use the donut chart, that is a pie chart with a hole in the middle. In that case, the hole in the middle is just to insert the title. Then we have a chart that is the middle of the infographic, and then the body of the infographic will be, and then this is the footer. In the footer, we usually have the sources of information. So you have to be very careful about what does the sources you select, and be very transparent and to put the sources, and also the logo type or the name of the creator of the infographics. Here is very clear. We see that 7 billion people, what they do. So in 20 seconds, we see that there is 1.9 billion that are under 15 years old, 1.7 that work in service, 1.4 in agriculture, 800 million in industrial. So we see parts in a whole. We see icons and then name. We see a number, but at the same time we see the piece of this pie, that is the percentage. So it's codified very fast that the eyes can read. This is another infographics we can see. It's quite simple infographics. You will see that in the infographic they explain us what different types types of coffee. We are crazy of different types of coffee. In my country, Spain, we have different kinds. So, but you have espresso, macchiato, cafe latte. So you see that if you have to think about the combination in your head, it's difficult. But if they show you in very clear, you can understand in 20 seconds. So here there is more direct data visualization, no title, because it would be nice to have a title in that case, but it's quite easy to be understood. So why we like infographics? You see that we like infographics mainly for most of the reasons, but there are 5 key reasons. The first reason is because we have information overload. We have a lot of information in our daily routines. We have internet, we have newspapers, we have flyers, we have mobile phones, and so on. So we are overloaded of information. We don't read. We need clarity. We need visuals. We have short attention span. I mean, this calculating in economics how many seconds of your daily day are you putting attention on one subject. So the advertisers are very concerned that every second they have your attention on that screens is very critical. So information has to be very visual and very precise, and because every second counts. So the first thing is we have low retention reading. That means that if I give you, for example, all of you a flyer that explains an information you don't know, and I invent myself, for example, quantum physics, and after 2 minutes I pick up this information, and then I ask you in an hour later, what do you remember about what you have learned? You have read, sorry, you will only remember 20%, maximum 20%. That means if you do in visual, you will increase this as a 40 or 45%. So that means we have low retention while we're reading. We remember very few. So we like to share. We are also people that with the social networks, we share information. And when there is a valuable data visualization, when it's a valuable infographics, and it's meaningful to me, it's giving me good information and good knowledge, I would like to share with my colleagues, I would like to share with my relatives and so on. So there is a lot of engagement, social engagement, if you do a good infographics. And we like attractive visuals because we are designed for ACI. So information is really beautiful if we create it in good data visualizations. What are the infographic elements? The main elements of the infographics are these 4. There are maps, there are charts, there are icons and diagrams, and there are text. So yes, can be text or figures and percentage and simple text in an infographic. But with these 4 points, you will have the key points of the items inside an infographic. So right now, I want to ask you very, very fast. You can say it into the chat if you can. You have 2 infographics, and in that case, we have 20 seconds to read. Which one do you like most? The one on the right or the one on the left? Which one is faster to understand? Which one you will say, okay, this is I get it and I will share it, and the other one you don't share it?
So we have answers. They are answering that they like mostly the right one.
Mm-hmm.
So let's wait a little bit more. So let's see any other opinion. Yeah, I think that the majority votes for the right infographic.
Okay, good. So that means that you are right. You like the right infographics because it's very well organized, and the left infographics is less organized. I usually do this exercise with my pupils here in Spain several times, and most of the time it's the same. 90% like the right and 10% the left. And you will see that we know what we want, and we know how when the information is organized, when the information is clear, and when information is well presented, we understand very fast. Here we have the title, the world's deadliest animals. That's okay. In the left, we have also a title. I want to make an animated movie. We have a footer, Canal Plus, and then here also a footer with the sources, who has done this Alessandro de Maldana. So we see, okay, from formal thing, okay, but here you see that in the left it's very chaotical because we have a red and we have a blue, but we don't have a legend that tells when it's blue and when it's red. What is, it's not giving me any clue. We see some arrows in one left, and then we some information, some figures we don't understand. So we get lost very fast. But here it's very clear. You will see that this is a ranking from the 10 people dead by sharks and 725,000 by mosquitoes. So you will see that the information, the key information, it's very easy to read. We are classifying, we are comparing this information. If you put this infographics into a horizontal way, if you do this mentally, you will see this can be also a bar chart, the typical bar chart, but this is done in horizontal. This is done in colors, different categories in different colors. We have an icon to understand what is the animal, but at the same time we have a name. So we are codifying the information with an icon and with a name. But at the same time we are codifying the number we have here with the large of the bar. So we see this quantity is much larger and visual. So you will see that infographics is very shocking and very fast to understand and to communicate if it's very well designed. So not all infographics are the same. So data visualization is quite different. The difference you will see later on, but the data visualization in infographics, the main thing is that data visualization is related to interaction, to internet, is related to deeper context. And infographics are related to storytelling, to 20 seconds, to very fast idea. So you would see that this is an example. Alexandra is sharing with you the different links in the examples, but you will see that this is an example that it's explaining the childhood cancer, the interactive data visualization, but we are not using figures, we are only using words. Another example of data visualization, this one I want to share with you here in my computer. This is the way of persuading. Here we have, I can show with you this information. You will see that we have an animation of the global warming. And so if you see that if you make something interactive, something moving, but at the same time very clear, you see how the global warming is affecting to us very clear. We don't have to put a table with a lot of data. You have to avoid this table, and you will see that with animation we keep engaged with the information till the end. So what else we have? We have also that data visualization is analyzing. In that case, I show also with you. We have the Hollywood Insider. This is I recommend you very well this website. This information is beautiful from David McCandless, and he has a lot of good examples. And here we have a data visualization from the in that case we have average of critics of the films, and here we have the worldwide gross. So we are comparing this to information, but we can interact from the budget. You would see that every bubble is changing, and we are interacting, and we see more clear information. We can color by genre or by script and so on. So you will see that in that case, data visualization is analyzing. You can analyze information, but data visualization can be also animating. Animating we have here in that case an animation how the post office in United States were increasing. You will see that here we are in the 19th century, but the more we move to the beginning of the 20th century, the post office are moving and increasing different times. So we like to see this animation, we like to see these spots moving and these graphics and so on. Moreover, data visualization can be captivating. In that case, is very, very captivating example. If you go to the links that Adriana is sharing with you, you will see that we will be in this web page. The web page is Google Earth, but Google Earth is the wind map. Here we have the wind map in the Balkans area, and we see in this area what is the intensity of the wind. But we can interact with this information and say, okay, I want not to see the wind, I want to see the wind plus the temperatures. So we have what is the red is the most high temperatures, but at the same time we are seeing the wind, but we are not seeing data. We are seeing the information presented in another way. Or we can put some solar information and so on. So we'll see it can be captivated at the same time. It can be good communication of data. What else? Data visualization can be also personalized. And in that case, I have prepared with you an example about the common day of the birthday. If you have a table about what is the most popular birthday in the United States, in the people who has born between 1995 and 2014, you will see there are some of the months, mainly in September, in that case, that the births on this period are one of the top of the ranking. So this is another way of presenting information, and it's activating curiosity, and you are interacting with information. So you will see that you can personalize the information as much as you want to the reader. Also, it's exploring. In that case, is OECD Better Life Index, sorry. And in this visualization, you can go and you can select different types of visualization. You can compare different countries and different items, in that case, housing, incomes, or community or education. And you will see that these flowers are changing and the levels are changing. You can only select one and explore the data. So it's exploration. Here in data visualization, we are not telling the reader this is the final solution. We are telling the reader, go with the data, interact with the data, make yourself the questions, and you will find your answers. So we are not putting a very clear message of communication. We are making the data available to explore and to take different conclusions depending of the interest of the person. What else we have? Data visualization can be stimulating. In that case, this is a OCDI Life Index I was telling you before, and you see how we interact with these different items. And the other one, this is an animation. It's very interesting. This is if you want, as a journalist, if you want to really shock the audience, you can do things like this. This is la calculation of U.S. gun deaths in United States in the 2013, and this is when the people, the age the people was die, and you see the person here and the day, and this is the expected years he would live if he was not killed by a gun. So you see the stolen years of these persons by gunshots and gun weapons. So in that case, you are captivating the person, and at the same time you are really explaining and stimulating to act and to take care of this. And you see that you can select by age group, by region, by type. So you are exploring, but at the same time you are giving a shocking way and another angle to show the information. So summarizing the key points between infographics and visualization is what I told you, I shared to you during the examples. Infographics are really mainly static, are mainly 20 seconds. The idea is 20 seconds you can consider as approximation, but this is the average time we spent in reading an infographic is presentation. You only present the information in a very helicopter area. You don't go in detail. You see it. You explain a storytelling, and you don't need to have deep knowledge of the context of all the information to understand these infographics. And in visualization, it's just the opposite. It's just the dynamic. So I mean, the thing changes. The information changes with this interaction. It's exploration. It's interaction. Obviously, it's more than 20 seconds, and the deeper context, the better. So I mean, the more you know the context of the information in the visualization, the more you can explore the information in different angles and different details. So for fast communication is infographics. For a precise communication and interaction and engagement, it's visualization. So you would see that we are moving from data to information to knowledge. All the time we are having the data as the raw material. The information is the material, the data with context. For here, for example, in data, I can say we have 90 degrees Celsius in Spain right now. And information, I can say data will be 90 degrees Celsius. Information will be the context, will be in that case Spain. We are today 10 of April 2017, and we are 4 p.m. And then knowledge is really to act with this information, what we have explained before. To act with information is take decisions with this information. For example, knowledge can be, okay, it's a very rare temperature, it's an unusual temperature in Spain for that period of time. So the decision is, if I go out from home, I will take a coat because it's usually has to be like, I don't know, 18 degrees or 20 degrees at this period of time. So we are moving from these three layers. So data itself has nothing to say. We have to put data into context and to design to provide knowledge. This is the key points. So if I ask you what is data, what will you say? Okay, data is a structured representation of information. So data is the raw material, and then here you have to know your data, and the know your data.
Sorry, Ignasi, to interrupt you. Would you like to ask the attendees with what kind of data they work?
Yeah, will be nice. Will be nice. Thank you.
Yes, let's shoot just one more poll, and you can vote right now. Post what kind of data you use, and let's see. So voting is already on. Few seconds left. Wow. I think it's surprising because they're almost 50-50, but let's see the end of the results. Wow. You want to see the results now? I'm closing the poll, so I could share the results. So 58% use quantitative data and 42% use qualitative data.
Okay, good. So that means most of you are working with numbers, with figures, okay? But it doesn't mind that if we have qualitative data. I mean, we have to quantify in some ways. So qualitative data, it's not usual something we can count. We have to transfer this into numbers to really create a visualization. We will see later on in an example what we can do. So good. What the thing is, you know your data. You have to know your data. What is a list? What is a table? What are a connected table? What are trees? These are different types of data. And then the second thing is you have to understand the data types. This is the data types, the question as Adriana has posed to you. This is quantitative data. Is data can be counted or measured. All values are numerical, are numbers. And also we have discrete data that the data has a finite number of possible values. For example, number of employees in an office, on all continuous data, that data is measured and it has a value within a range, for example, rainfall in a year. And categorical data can be sorted by according to a group of category, for example, types of products sold. But the key point is you have to know this as a basis, but at the same time, you have to understand the relationships between this data, okay? What we are doing with this data, we're seeing patterns, we are comparing, and so on. So here you have most of the common types.
We have a question. We have a question related to the slide you have previously showed. We have a question from Bardil. He is asking, what if we use both types of data?
Yes, we can use both types of data, but we have to keep in mind how we link this data and what is the relationship between this data. We can do it, no problem, Bardil. So what I want to show you in the next slide is that one of the most useful tools I can share with you. This is called Database Catalog. I don't know, Adriana, if you have shared this link, but it's very important you share this link. And in this link, it's very interesting because the data visualization catalog tells you have a lot of types of charts you can choose, but you can choose by function. So what I propose to you when I asking you about the relationships is what you want to show. What you want to show, if you want to show comparisons, or if you want to show proportions, or you want to show relationships. I'll say, okay, I want to say comparisons. Okay, I want to compare information. But okay, if we compare information, we have to choose if we compare information with an axis or without an axis. Because we can compare information with an axis, with a bar chart, for example, or with a no axis, with a donut chart or a pie chart. This is the most typical ones you will know. So we'll see that we have to think carefully what relationship with the data. We are comparing this information. We have comparing with axis, for example, and then we click and we see the deeper information about the bar chart. This is a description of a bar chart. A bar chart is either horizontal or vertical bars. A column shows discrete numerical comparison across categories. Okay. On the axis of the chart shows the specific categories being compared, and the other axis represents a discrete value scale. So you will see that we have a description, we have anatomy, how it goes. We see that the bar grows depending on the number. The length is equal to the value amount. We see the functions with these 4 comparisons, but we can see we can use the bar charts to see patterns through the data. We have here the variations of this data. Of the chart. We can make histograms or population pyramids or stack bar graphs and so on. So we see that even in this usual bar chart, we have different combinations to represent the same information in different ways. And here you have tools to generate visualization. Some of them are free tools. Some of them are freemium. I mean, they have free options and also premium options that you have to pay. But here, this is very, very interesting. You have links. And here you have examples of different bar charts done by people. So in that case, I will suggest you to check this carefully, because this is a very, very useful way to the chart catalog. So what else? We have the most common charts. I will not enter deeper in this because we have very few time, but I have shared with you, and Adriana will share with you also the link about one of the most interesting tools is this one, and this one, I think it's now opening another screen in my computer, but you will see it. This one is a resource that tells you principles about data visualization, but the most important thing you have to look in this screen is the data relationships. I will talk. This is nominal comparisons, time series, deviation, distribution, correlation. Don't be scared about this, because some of the time we are thinking about more statistical way of thinking. Sometimes it's more simple, like parsing a whole, but you have to think about relationships. And the second thing I want you to check, you will see the bar chart, what is a bar chart, and so on, is the do and don'ts about the charts. Here you have the horizontal, for example, use horizontal labels or use vertical labels. In that case, if you do use vertical labels, it's not easy to the person to read, because he has to turn the head to read information. It's quite obvious. But sometimes these tricky things, these silly and simple things, if we take care of these things, we are making the data visualization more precise and more easy to read. So I would suggest you to go with this, because you will have one of the best resources. The same about the pie charts, which is the things you have to avoid or you have to do to really, for example, one of the biggest mistakes in pie charts is that the people disorganize the pies, the different parts of the pie. So in that case, you have to organize from 1 to 5, from clockwise or anti-clockwise, but in that case, in that direction, in this case, in this direction. But you have the 1 is the bigger, the second is the second bigger, the third is the third bigger, the 4 is the 4 bigger, the 5 is the 5 bigger. So here you have this resource, and then some tips about effective storytelling. From now we have spoken about principles. Right now, from tips, very fast, is the purpose of visualization is insight, not pictures. This is Ben Schneiderman, one of the popes in this area. So the purpose is not to make something nicer. The purpose is to be understood, to comprehend. It's what we spoke before. The second thing is choose what chart type to choose. You have different resources I've shared with you, but the form and the function, the use case are linked. If I want to compare and without access and parse in a whole, possibly, and I have very few categories, only 4 or 5 categories, possibly the best solution will be a pie chart. So this is I know, because I know what I'm doing and what I've chosen. The third thing is interactivity whenever you can. Here you have two maps, and Adriana will share the link here in the wind map of Macedonia. You will see that here is the wind map in the Balkans area, and you see that this is the boring thing we see in the newspapers or in the news. But if you give the map interactive, as we saw before, it's much engaging, and people will spend more time and will understand for sure. And then functionality versus aesthetics. This is very important. Here you have the graph A and the graph B. And the graph A is, you will see, okay, it's a bar chart, and it's very boring because I've seen very bar charts. So I will be more creative. I will put this thing like in the B graph. You will see that to be creative, you can be misunderstood. So in that case, it's not easy to read. Even if this is very boring, if you have to sacrifice something, it's aesthetic sometimes, because we want functionality. We want to be very precise and very fast. Another thing is you have to start asking questions, and the data will tell you the answers. So the first thing to do a data visualization is to start with questions. Good questions are always the main thing. So you have to know your message. So say what you want to say. What is the sentence you want the people keep in their head after reading your data visualization. And the second thing is, who cares? You have to know your audience. How is your audience? Are there young people? Are there old people? Are they skilled with statistics or not? Are they interested in this information or not? So you have to know these answers, to have the answer of these questions before creating data visualization. So key point is what is the communication message, and it has to be short and concrete. And the second thing is, how is your audience? What else you have to do is, if a story is not about the hearer, he will not listen. So this is what I tell you. You have to take care of the audience. You have to scan the audience. You have to know them. You have to to see what the information is critical for them, what kind of information, what point of view you have not seen before in the data. And also, the stickiest stories to convince is you have three paths. You have an irrational part, an emotional part, and a social relevance. If you combine these three, the relevance of information, the relevance of the emotion, so it's touching, like the one, for example, in the gunshots and so on, and the social relevance, because it's very important socially in that moment, you are really getting one of the best data visualization and infographics you can imagine. So more or less, yes,
yeah, there is a question from Christian. He wants to know, what if they don't know the audience? What if?
Then he has a job to do. Yeah, then you have to make interviews. You have to connect with the audience, because if you do more general, you are making more general. You are losing a span. You are losing attention. So it's very important to make forms or interviews to the audience, to know more or less the audience. To make a data visualization, to make an infographic, there are 4 items to do. First is one data as a script. I mean, one data file where you say what is the title of the infographic, what is the audience, how is the audience, what is more important to them. I cannot explain this because I have very few time, but the key point is you will have to find out in some way about your audience, because if you go more general, you will lose span, and you will lose concentration of the message and usability of the message. Here you have also the process is data. What data you can use? You will have tons of data. You will have to select the idea. Then you have to know the audience, how you could surprise them, have you capture the attention. Message is simplicity. It's as much simple as possible when you are doing an infographic. It's concentrated, simple, and then story. Unexpected, concrete, credible, and emotional. So if you touch these 5 items, simple, unexpected, concrete, credible, and emotional, you will touch really very well, and you will do very successful infographic. So more or less is simplicity. Simplicity, you will see cases where the people try to put a lot of information. So try to avoid the one on the left and trying to engage the one on the right. So less is always more. So to be simple, to be clean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you are not doing a good data visualization. It means you are selecting information and comprehending faster than in the left part. That is important also the layout. There are different types of layout, but you have to think and that when you create a data visualization, it will be useful to have a blank paper, a blank sheet of paper, and then a pencil, and then you draw boxes, and you draw the numbers and the figures, how you imagine this, because going to the tool is the last part. You have to have a clear data, a clear question, a good charts, and then the distribution. This is the designer part. I have told you at the very beginning, design mindset. You have to put to add value to your data visualization and to your infographic. So in that case, before going to the computer, I will suggest you to draw and to make a layout. There are different types of layouts depending of the communication ideas you have. In that case, for example, the one on the left, this is for the process time. This is a timeline. This is a visualization article. This is the heavy data. So we can find a lot of different ones. So some basic tools. I will show you only the tools, and I will focus on the examples at the very end. So the tools I will recommend is the databasic. Databasic.io. You have the link, and Adriana will share the link. But that databasic is there are 4 tools. But the one I recommend to you is Word Counter. Word Counter is a tool that I can share with you. Word Counter is a tool that look, what it does is counts the word. You throw the data to the tool, and he will, for example, you paste a test here, and you will see that when you copy paste here, you will see that what it does. I use the, for example, the example it has. It makes a word cloud, and you will see the biggest words are the greatest, and the biggest are the ones that has more frequency. So here you have the word, here you have the frequency. So in that case, we have qualitative data quantified because we have words and we move into numbers. So moreover, with this tool, you can download the information. You can download in a CSV file, and then you process the information. The second tool I want to share with you is Taggle. Taggle is a tool to create word clouds, but with shapes. In that case, I will not go in that tool interactive, but you will see it with that Taggle is a tool that you can put some words. It goes the words, and you can add the frequency, the word and the frequency. For example, Spain 10 and France 5, and you will see that if you put this, you will see one word bigger than the other. But the good thing is you can put a shape behind, for example, the map of Spain, and you can have the word cloud inserted in this shape. Here you are talking about UFO, and you have a UFO shape. So this is very creative, very attractive, and very easy to do. Sorry. The third one is Data Wrapper. Data Wrapper is a very interesting tool. Data Wrapper is very simple. It's very well known by the journalists, and they use it very much. You can create a chart, or you can create a map. But this is very important because you cannot. You only have to copy paste the data here, or use a data set, for example, a line chart, and then you will see that here we have data about the iPhones and the iPads and the Macs sold by Apple, and then we go to follow and continue, and we go follow and continue. We see the data here. This is a quarter. This is a time data. Null, we don't have data, and here we have numbers. And then if you go to proceed, you will see that very clear. He selects the chart for you. He is very fast, and he's thinking, okay, you are utilizing time and the time over the time data, and in that case, the most interesting thing is the line chart. This one we have here. You have different types for mobile in a short way, for mobile in a long way, or for desktop. And then you can refine this data. You can make annotations. You can put a title or whatever you want. So you see that even you can find the design. You can find the design for different layouts, more darker and so on. And when you have it, yes.
Yes, we're almost running out of time, so let's do a wrap up. I mean, if you have anything else to add, I would. Yeah.
Okay, I will finish. Okay, I'm sorry because I have a lot of things to explain to you. But summarizing, the tools I recommend to you is Infogram. Infogram is a tool very easy to do data visualization. I will show you an example I have prepared in Infogram, and then we will finish with this. And then you have also Pictochart. Pictochart is another good tool to make infographics. And the ones are more skillful with difficult infographics and difficult charts. In that case, charts with different shapes and so on, and animations. It's raw graphs is one of the most known and one of the most easiest one to do complicated, let me say, charts. And if you want more tools, I also share with you this link. This colleague is Andy Kirk, and Andy Kirk is one of the popes on data visualization also in internet, and he's from UK. He has a website with a lot of resources for different things: data handling, programming, mapping, web specialists. And so I also share with you some data resources, and so here in this link you have also different open data sources to use in your database charts and data visualizations. And the last exercise that we have no time, but I will show you online, is have pick up some data about, in that case, about Macedonia, and I will look, create some title, and here some map. I have created some demographic data, in that case, an icon with the population in 2012, with a calculation of the percentage of the population that represents Macedonia in the world. Some communication here that one person in every 3,385 people of the planet is resident in Macedonia. Here are some data about regions of Macedonia, about that cases. Skopje has the biggest population in 506,926,000. But if we exclude Skopje, we see the other regions. We have the biggest cities. In that case, you see that it's that there's a bar chart and it's very simple. And we see also the population evolution, the fertility rate, the combination between fertility rate and population evolution, and we see that 1970 is the cross. The birth and rate evolution, we have different charts, and here are major languages. So we see that we have done, I have done this if I know that if I have the data, I have done this with this tool in 20 minutes maximum. So I have no time to explain you, but you will see. Yes. I only, if Adriana give me 1 minute, I show them. This is the tool inside, when you are inside the tool. And you will see that if you want to choose a chart, you have different types of charts here, a different use case, for example, for comparison or whatever. It's as much simpler as click, and he inserts the tool, the chart, sorry. And here behind, edit data, we have some data. If we change the data here, the chart will change. We can change colors and so on. And the same is happening with the maps. With the maps, we have worldwide, even if you see, we have also Macedonia. I will insert also small regions, small province, and so on. So for me, it's all I wanted to share. Perhaps I prepared too much information that I think, but okay, I would like to give you plenty of information and resources. So thank you, and then now it's the time for open questions, if you have questions.
Yes, I will also have one last question for the audience. Was this webinar helpful? So I would like if they can vote right now and tell us how effective we were. So I see that we have like a big percentage who say that yes, they have learned from this webinar, and we also have experts. Yes, and it is very interesting because I will share all the links that you provided to us during the webinar. I will share with all the attendees, and also the recording of the material and your presentation will be sent out to all the attendees. And also all the questions that were not answered, we will try to manage it and answer them, everything that we couldn't answer during this webinar. So yes, I would like to share the information with you to Ignasi. I'm very happy, but that most of the attendees are already familiar with the infographics and the tool that can be used. And also, I hope that in future we will have again another webinar, and we will have you again as a guest. And I would like to thank you for all the efforts to share with us all this knowledge you have. And I hope that soon you will join us again. I see that we have even questions when we can listen Ignasi again, asks Christian. And also I see that there are many people who are sending us greetings and congrats for the successful webinar. Thank you everyone for joining this webinar. So I would like also to invite you at the end of this session on the next webinar, which will be organized this Wednesday, starting from 15 p.m. Also don't forget to follow us on our social media. We will send you all the materials and the links which we have provided on the chat. Ignasi, thank you again for joining us and giving us such a perfect presentation in 1 hour. I think that I know how to make infographics too. So that's all. Thank you again and see you next time. See you on Wednesday on the topic how to protect your privacy on the internet. It's a very interesting topic and I also invite you to join us. Thank you.
Bye-bye.